What's going on, guys? Bengal King here, coming back at you with another video. And yes, of course, my background has changed for maybe the third time in 3 videos, and I'm still at my aunt's place. I haven't gotten my apartment just yet. And of course, I did move to Houston, Texas, so if you see me on the street, you have like a 50-50 chance maybe it's me or some other gangly looking freak. Maybe say hello. But yeah, so I'm in Houston, and I got downtown Houston behind me. Now, I don't know if you guys can see. I'm going to change it, and I had this killer idea. It's like, hey, you know how your lighting's usually pretty good? Well, what if it was awful? And I'm like, yes, that's it. So I'm set up now in the living room area, and I'll show you guys the camera in a second to where like you can actually see downtown looking very, very nice. You can see the entire skyline. It looks incredible. Just the camera's not picking it up all that well. And like I'm probably gonna close the blinds to make it look so you can actually see me. I don't know, it's kind of a weird spot. So yeah, I'm gonna move into an apartment here shortly, hopefully within the next couple weeks or so, and then actually have like a main backdrop that I'll add to over time. So that's where we are. We're rebuilding the 49ers today. They've actually got a very good team. They've got a bunch of talent. It's just about progressing these players, maybe filling in some of the gaps. Of course, maybe Jimmy Garoppolo is their quarterback of the future. Maybe not. They have one of the top tight ends in football. Richard Sherman is still an elite cornerback, in my opinion. Let's go ahead and get into the roster breakdown. I think this setup works. I'm not entirely sure. But, you know, it is what it is. So this team actually has a lot of star development all over the place. And I definitely don't need to carry 3 running backs, all above 80 overall, all with star development. Tevin Coleman just got signed. I think Jerick McKinnon's probably going to be the odd man out. Maybe trade Matt Breida, or excuse me, maybe trade Jerick McKinnon, keep Matt Breida. Raheem Mostert's here as well. The receiving core is interesting. Of course, love Marquise Goodwin, hook 'em horns, blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you. And I know this is only going to elicit it more in the comment section, but let me tell you something. You people who do the nobody and then the colon and then like nothing, and then like somebody, and then it's like Bengal, hook 'em horns, blah. You know, like, do you think that's funny? Is it funny to do what everybody else is doing that already isn't funny? I don't know. Maybe. I guess you guys are hilarious. But Marquise Goodwin's here. Dante Pettis, star development. We're probably going to build a lot around him. Now, Jordan Matthews is here. No, you know, like, I'd rather have Kendrick Bourne. I'd rather have Deebo Samuel, even Trent Taylor. Deebo's going to play the slot, and he's going to win Rookie of the Year. That's just what's happening. Across the offensive line, Joe Staley should be good. Mike McGlinchey should be good. George Kittle, obviously good. Got Garrett Selleck, Levine Toilolo. The rest of the offensive line, I don't know about Laken Tomlinson. Weston Richburg's only a 70, former Giant. Which is Mike Person. My connection here is bad, so it's going to take a while for some stuff to load. But, like, he's not very good, and he's 31. Going to have to be a replacement level player. And then defensively, of course, look at this defensive line. I mean, it's a lot of fun. Now, Solomon Thomas is definitely a candidate to move inside. He goes up to a 75. Although star development seems a little bit nice to him based on his development after being, what, the number... I want to say he got pick number 3 overall a few years back. It could have been number 4 in number 3 in 2017, and he really hasn't developed much at all. The 49ers tried to play him as an edge when it was pretty clear he wasn't, and I think he's been a little bit more successful since moving to the inside, but not all that much more. Definitely hasn't lived up to his top 5 pick. Eric Armstead, another first-rounder. DeForest Buckner, another first-rounder. One of the best defensive tackles in football. He is an absolute stud. I think Nick Bosa will develop really, really well across the course of this thing. And then a corner, like Richard Sherman's a god. And then Jason Verrett, when healthy, is incredible. But he's never healthy, so it kind of is what it is. He's 28. Still a decent overall. We'll see if we can build around him at all. But I'm not really sure how he's going to develop with regression being as strong as it is. Jimmy Ward, I have no care to start. Adrian Colbert's going to be the starting free safety. Cornerback, we need upgrades. Kwan Williams and Kelly Witherspoon's not going to get it done. But at linebacker, I think Fred Warner, I think Quan Alexander is really solid. Malcolm Smith has got to go. And then Jaquiski Tart, former Samford standout. is good to stay there. Anton Exum there as well. But what I'm going to do here is move Debo into the slot and trade Jerick McKinnon. We're going to make a couple moves, probably get a little bit younger, a little bit better if we can. Maybe I'll look for an offensive lineman. A center, I think, would be a worthwhile upgrade. So let's see what we can do. Okay, the trade I'm going to do is Jerick McKinnon, Jordan Matthews, and Mike Person for a first and a second from the Vikings. Now, that's pretty good for us. I, of course, love to get first-round picks. You guys know that already. So I have a breakout goal for Deebo Samuel that I'm not really sure how I'm going to accomplish in simulation. It just doesn't feel like something that will happen. Now, could I go into the game and ensure that it happens? Yeah, but that's kind of not the point of these. Now, there are no new Patreon guys. If you guys want to become a part of the next rebuild after becoming a patron, or you want to be involved in the fantasy franchise down the line, Patreon link is in the description. But I do ask that you use code Bengal on SeatGeek to save yourself $20 when you buy tickets. I'm doing you a favor. Trust me. SeatGeek code Bengal. You save $20. I mean, what could go wrong? Besides nothing. So, Matt Breida is an impending free agent. I'll bring him back, though. I don't really have a problem doing so. Jason Verrett, Eric Armstead, also here. Would like to bring back the three of them. As for the rest, I kind of don't care. That's just where we are. And I will also say, sometimes I get questions, and people, I guess, have this misconception that every single viewer watches every video. And then when I repeat myself, people are like, Bengal every video. I'm like, people don't know, and then I get questions, all right? So some people want to know. It's like, don't you use your draft class? Well, not for the fantasy ones. Fantasy ones kind of everything goes. And like if I were to use the same draft class every time, it would get kind of stale because I do know, most of the orderings of the overall and things like that. It's more refreshing to use auto-generated classes on the fantasy style ones. And then for the realistic ones, we use actual players. So that's when that happens. And, of course, I mean, I can't thank you guys enough for the support on the draft class. It's PS4 only. And it is the most downloaded file by a lot. On Madden PS4. And I've already addressed this, of course, but I'll get the question. You're going to move it to Xbox? No. How would I do that? It's just not possible because I don't have one. I have a PS4. So it's not a thing that's going to happen. But yeah, 82K downloads. The people who have disliked it have AIDS. It is a fact about them. Jimmy Good. I'm glad to hear that he is. Because we maybe could use a safety. Could use a wide receiver. We could use a lot. There are 3 tight ends in the top 6. That's interesting. This player looks very pleasant. I never fail to amaze myself with some of my ability here. We definitely need to look at offensive line. I'll do some scouting. You guys will see in the draft. Don't worry about it. And, of course, we did not make the playoffs. As 5-2 quickly turns to 7-9. Because who wouldn't want to win only 2 games the rest of the season and lose the rest? Happy days. Of course, always love when that happens, as it seems to. We had the worst offense in the NFL. That's always fun. But also the 24th defense. So that was not that good either. Jimmy Garoppolo had an underwhelming year. We'll call it that. Rushing. Oh, the running backs didn't run well. But the touchdowns were nice. Receiving. Marquise Goodwin was okay. But Deebo Samuel really was our shining star. Averaged almost 50 yards a game. 780 receiving yards. 8 touchdowns. Actually, like, that's not bad. Those are pretty good numbers for a rookie. Really good numbers for a rookie. Defensively, Fred Warner led our team in tackles with 124. He was one of 4 players to have double-digit tackles for loss alongside DeForest Buckner, D. Ford, and Eric Armstead. DeForest Buckner also happened to have 10 sacks. D. Ford with 4.5. A lot of pressure from Nick Bosa in his rookie year. Got 1.5 sacks. Interceptions, 3 for Verrett, 3 for Richard Sherman. And then defensive touchdowns. Does not appear that we have any because we did not. Now, I'm going to change the offensive scheme. Clearly, this was bad as Lamar Jackson wins MVP. of the 10-6 Ravens. Okay. I guess. NFC Offensive Player of the Year is Alex Smith. Because once again, nothing makes sense. No 49ers in here. Defensive Player of the Year is Bobby Wagner. No 49ers. Offensive Rookie of the Year is not Deebo Samuel, it's Kyler Murray. Deebo finished in second. This was just a brutal year, huh? Defensive Rookie of the Year is Jelani Tavai, and Nick Bosa finished at 8. I guess that happens when you have 1.5 sacks as a pass rusher. Brutal. We're going to simulate now to the offseason. This year was, to quote myself every video, a disaster. Panthers beat the Chargers in the Super Bowl, and I didn't re-sign anybody. I guess I was like, we'll get back to it. And then we didn't. So here we are. Verrett has regressed slightly. I can bring him back on a 1-year deal. Not that it's going to matter, but I can. Oh, $10 million per year in total cap hit. That's going to be a little bit annoying, but I'm comfortable doing it. So Jason Verrett has no interest signing. I don't blame you. Be 15 mil to tag him. I'm going to have to probably let him go. But Matt Breida and Eric Armstead both return. Kendrick Bourne, like, yeah, he is good. He's good enough, but I don't want to give him more than 3.5 per year. 3.68. But if I stretch that out, 5 years, I can get it under 3 if he accepts. I'm actually going to bump up the salary and the signing bonus very slightly to just above 3. And he is back. Okay, so Kendrick Bourne's going to be on the team for the duration of the rebuild. Jason Verrett, it doesn't really make any sense to franchise tag him. So I'm just going to let him walk. And we'll see what other options are in free agency. I would have to tell you guys probably Kendall Fuller and nothing else. We have $10 million to spend, which isn't a whole lot. Is Zeke here? Melvin Gordon. We got Kareem Hunt. Kendall Fuller is here, as he always is. It's the same group of free agents every time. They never get re-signed, ever. Joe Tooney's here. That interests me quite a bit, actually. It would be quite the upgrade over Laken Tomlinson. This would pretty much clean us out if we were to sign him for just this year. We're going to get more money over time. 96 total points is probably the most I can actually offer him. And we'll probably just sit easy on the rest. So Joe Tooney has accepted. That's quite a big addition to the team. Now, he can play left guard. He can play right guard. What I'm probably going to do, at least for the time being, is move Laken Tomlinson over to right guard. He's definitely not my long-term solution at right guard, as I'm not even sure he'll get up to an 80 overall. It's possible. I want to say I feel like it's unlikely. And I'm not sure what scheme I'm going to change to. Usually I just choose a playbook of a team that's extremely successful in sim based on our personnel, like maybe the Browns or the Chargers or something along those lines. Debo's only up to a 74. That's a little bit disappointing. Trent Taylor's moving on up. I still want Debo to play a lot, though. That's the thing. Could use a backup quarterback. Kyle Juszczyk, who we didn't even mention, is an 85 overall. I guess I didn't feel it necessary to mention a fullback. Don't know what his contract is. Cool to see him face scan in the game. And then Joe Staley retired. Are we serious here? I didn't think he would. Now, he was a 90 overall left tackle that just straight up and retired. I would have traded him. It would have been a really valuable trade piece. But he retired. Now we have a glaring hole at left tackle. Always love to see that. Mistakes were made. If you guys are rebuilding the 49ers, Joe Staley retires after the first year. Trade him for anything. Quan Alexander is up to star, or he was or a superstar, excuse me. Nick Bosa is revealed to have superstar development. Richard Sherman is regressing, of course. I'm going to change the defensive scheme. There's no reason Nick Bosa has 1.5 sacks playing right end, especially when he was a rush right end. I just don't understand what's happening with that. But superstar development is going to be fantastic for those two, in Quan Alexander and in Nick Bosa. So we're going to simulate now to the draft. We have so many holes. We really do. We could take a corner. We could take a linebacker. We could get safety. Safety probably not the highest on my list. Defensive tackle's fine. Offensively, we could take anything across the offensive line. We could maybe take a wide receiver, but I'd probably opt not to. So we pick at number 4 overall. The Buccaneers at number 1 go with a 69 overall right end out of Fresno State. Pretty nice there, Alani Mitchell. Raiders on the clock, back-to-back Pirates picks, and they take a Jimmy Good. Good pick. Cardinals take Mac Winters, a 72 overall receiver out of Florida. And we should have some pretty good players still on the board. Now, Carlos Clemens is tempting. Really good top skills, decent combine as well. Definitely something to consider. Now, Eddie Payton looks like about the best tight end I've ever seen. We don't need one, obviously, but very, very good. Mike Gill was solid as well. We really should look to go offensive line. I don't know about with this pick, though. There's some better offensive linemen down the board. I don't necessarily feel like I have to reach up for one. It's not a great offensive line group, but then the question is, what do we take instead? Now, everyone knows I love to draft a defensive tackle, defensive lineman in general, and Eddie Farley out of BC looks really good. He's a baller. He said, hey, Roger Goodell, I'm not doing your damn combine. I'm skipping it. And there he is. So I'm like, I'm pretty intrigued by him. I'm not going to lie. I really am. It's not a great class in general for things that I need. A little bit disappointing. So I think we'll go with a cornerback. This is DeAndre Thomas out of Notre Dame. Good top 3 skills. We don't really know about him from a man perspective, but I'll bet you it's pretty shitty. We're going to go ahead and take him here. Should pair well with Richard Sherman. He's a 74 overall, ranked at number 11 in the class, has star development, or it's hidden. Could be something else. Who knows? 92 speed, 71 man, 74 zone. Man is actually not as bad as I thought, but zone isn't as good as I thought it would be. Good speed, decent press, good awareness. That's boosting his overall quite a bit. Decent play rec. He's not a terrible player. He'll come in and be our second best cornerback immediately. There goes Eddie Farley, 76 overall, defensive tackle out of BC. Wouldn't have helped us out too much, but I wanted to take him. I just want you guys to know that. All right, it's voiceover Bengal. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. We're going to get to know each other pretty well over the course of this thing. As if you guys didn't know, you probably could figure it out. I am a psychopath, and oftentimes when I record these, I am playing not even just music, but actual videos or shows, and I'll just talk over them. And somehow I don't screw up my words, but I'm a psycho. And I forgot to mute the desktop audio in my recording software, which is a very, very rare mistake if it's ever happened. It's happened now, obviously. So, of course, you guys will not be able to hear me because there's so much clash back and forth with the show I was watching. So now I have to do post-commentary on it, but we're fine. That's Mark and Ziocha. All right, back to live me. So this is the team for season number 2. I've decided to bench Weston Richburg, who is 29 he's 29, in favor of the rookie who will actually progress opposed to regress. And it's a wide receiving core. Debo's still going to play a lot. And then defensively, I've changed up the schemes quite a bit. Hopefully we are more successful. That's always the goal. And then specialist-wise, Debo Samuel will continue to play the slot. Hopefully we don't suck, but if I know anything about sucking, which you might take a look at my coach name and figure it out the second I do, we might. See you guys at the midseason mark. 5-2 at the midseason mark. Where have I seen that before? Oh, last year where we shit the bed? Yeah, it's true. George Kittle is an impending free agent, as is... who else here? Now, please take your time. Richard Sherman, DeForest Buckner, Kyle Juszczyk, Tevin Coleman, Jaquiski Tart. Oh, everybody. Okay. Hey, it's me again. What's going on? I'm re-signing some people, and they're back. The ones that said player signed, yeah, I signed those guys. And I'll see you guys in a bit. Well, we've done classic what we do, and that is missing the playoffs, 9-7. Because the second half of the season, we're like, we're not going to, who cares? Someone else will do it. And you're like, really? You thought you would want to do it. They're like, no. So, of course, 4 straight losses to end the year. Why not? Love to see that. And a few of them were only by a few points. So that's pretty cool. Always love when things work out. Now, we were better offensively. We were in the top half of the league. And defensively, we were the second best team in the NFL, which is quite a change. If you guys remember from 24 a year previous, Jimmy Garoppolo was not bad. Not a ton of touchdowns, but a very good touchdown to interception ratio, over 4,000 yards. These are good numbers. Tevin Coleman was, he played, I guess. Matt Breida also played and was better. Receiving, George Kittle led the team in catches and yards and almost touchdowns, but Marquise Goodwin had 10. Deebo Samuel was pretty solid. Dante Pettis was okay, I guess. Defensively, because blocking, whatever. Fred Warner led the team in tackles. Tackles for loss, 18 for DeForest Buckner. Fred Warner had 13. D Ford had 13. But when you look at sacks, wow. D Ford had 16. 7.5 for DeForest Buckner. 7 for Nick Bosa. 6.5 even for Quan Alexander. Interceptions, 2 for the rookie DeAndre Thomas out of Notre Dame led the team. And that might be enough for Rookie of the Year. Only 2 forced fumbles. At least 2 defensive touchdowns. Richard Sherman and David Mayo. Because, I mean, you couldn't find 2 further apart people than those 2. But MVP went to Patrick Mahomes of the 3-12-1 Chiefs. How valuable was he? Okay, interesting. No 49ers in there, but NFC Offensive Player of the Year was Todd Gurley. Jimmy G at number 8. Defensive Player of the Year, Luke Kuechly. No D Ford in here. He makes the list at number 10. Offensive Rookie of the Year is the running back Kyron Norton, because, of course, the Eagles need more running backs. And then Defensive Rookie of the Year is DeAndre Thomas. Leo Spriggs came in hot at number 2. Now, Leo Spriggs had, or fucking DeAndre Thomas had star. I wonder if he is up to superstar now. Now, it doesn't change until Super Bowl week, as people remind me every single time, and I already know. But sometimes I get, goals over the season that alter it. But we'll check out offseason, and Trent Taylor, someone we need to bring back, as the Browns beat the Giants in the Super Bowl. It's interesting. I'm a Giants fan. I don't know the likelihood that we'll be in the Super Bowl in 2 years. But, if you truly believe, it's still not possible. Team is coming together somewhat nicely. Deebo is not progressing that well. I keep moving him to 3, and he's still whatever. Offensive line is moving along nicely. Of course, Batten has surpassed Richburg in terms of overall. That happened fairly quickly. Defensively, show me some big-time upgrades. Please show me development upgrades. Please. Okay, no. We didn't. But Thomas is going to be up to an 80 now with his skill point, which is not bad from starting at a 70 overall. I guess we'll go into a slot here. That might not change his overall, but it might further him towards the scheme to get slightly more XP. It actually does both. So he's a scheme fit now, and he's an 80 overall. Pretty good upgrade there for DeAndre Thomas. And do I need to bring back Solomon Thomas? Quick answer. Depends on what he wants, actually. We'll see. He wants nothing. Well, okay. I'll be happy to re-sign you. Now, we don't have a lot of cap room. But, I can easily bring you back and then maybe even trade you. So, Solomon Thomas returns. Adrian Colbert wants, again, nothing. So, I'm fine to give him more than he wants to make him return. And he does. So, Adrian Colbert's back. The rest, they can walk. No problem at all. We don't really have any money for free agency, but we might do a little bit of window shopping. We'll see. It's like going to a pet store and you're looking at puppies, but you already have an old pet and you're like, I don't really need a new one. I don't know. John Johnson is here. Very creative name. His parents got way over the top with that one. So I offered on Samson Ibukam, and we got up to 49 points, so he decided probably wouldn't take that. I don't blame him, but we don't have any money. So I didn't really have a choice. I should have traded Weston Richburg last year. That would have offered up a little bit of cap room. Some of our salaries are just so ridiculous. And I know it doesn't always work out the way it is in real life to Madden. But some of these contracts hold us hostage, really. We don't have any options. Jimmy G takes up a lot of it. Weston Richburg takes up a lot of it. Look at this offensive line. Laken Tomlinson takes up that much. It's really, really annoying. Raheem Mostert is $3.5 mil. Why? I don't get it. We're just gonna cut Mostert, honestly. And when we cut Weston Richburg, we'll take a penalty, which I don't really want to do, but like his cap hit is so annoying. And we'll have it in 2022. You know what? Nah, get out of here. We're going to cut Weston Richburg. It just makes sense. So the cap hit is annoying. Almost 4 mil. But sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have to. Hey, missed me yet? We're back. We're in the draft. I think I made a joke about the guy being Patrick Roy. There he is. But you guys remember the goalie in hockey, Patrick Roy, who spelled his name Roy, R-O-Y, because he was French or something? I don't know. That's Perry Cohen. He's a good cornerback. I talked myself out of it because we don't need one. And we're going to find out a little bit later. He was quite good, but I'm like, what do I need here? Could I use a linebacker? They all suck, so maybe not. Could I use that guard? Maybe, but how about a right tackle? How about it? Am I going to do it? Oh, so much suspense. What could happen? Nah, I take him. He's an 80 overall. He's the best in the entire draft. Number 0 overall, because that's how rankings work. The best one is number 0. That makes sense. He's got normal development, but guess what? He's pretty good. And then in the next pick, I took another player. That's what you do in the draft. When you pick, they're usually players. This one's name is Doug. What's up, Doug? Welcome to the 49ers. Hey, hidden development. Maybe it's star. Maybe it's something else. Could be anything. Maybe it's X Factor. Who knows? Because it's hidden. Could be some surprise. No way to find out. Oh, what's this? A quarterback. We sure could use a backup. This guy's name is Denzel. You guys know that actor Denzel Washington? I bet he has hidden development too. I wonder what it could be. Definitely not star. No way. A decent draft for us overall. CPU had great picks as always. Gotta love when they dive down into the 50s. NFL, let's see who the best players in the class were. Of course, we had the best one, but Perry Cohen was a 79 overall. I knew he looked quite good. He's definitely going to have hidden development. I actually don't know what this one is. We could find out very quickly. If he has Superstar X Factor, I'm actually probably going to be very sad about it. He has, okay, Superstar X Factor because, you know, why wouldn't he? Because I decided I didn't need him, which I didn't, but also, like, he would be the third best corner on the team right now, debatably the second with that development trait. So that's kind of sucky. But we got the best player instead. We got the 80 overall. So I mean, it's bittersweet. And then Cohen went 4 picks before my next pick, which was a little bit sad. And I mean, there are some decent players in this class. Another one that isn't stacked, but you know, was decent at the top. Definitely some higher overall players in this class than we've seen in most. But man, if we could have gotten both of those players, how cool would that be? I know. You read your mind. Pretty cool. We didn't even talk about Jalen Hurd in this. Former Alabama running back that transferred to Tennessee. That was a good running back there. And then is like, hey, what if I played receiver at Baylor? And everyone's like, I guess. And then he got drafted. So he's there now. He's a developmental player. Offensive line looks something like this. Spear at left tackle. Tooney back at left guard. Batten at center. And then Tomlinson at right guard. Although I mean, I'll probably play Tracy over him if I'm honest. And then trade Tomlinson just for some money things in that spot. And then defensively, Mosley's going to start at right outside linebacker, I guess. Richard Sherman's regressing nice and quick. Love to see that. And nobody's really getting all that much better. So we're really having a blast over here. And we're back. We're making a trade. It's from the Sack Attack, from the Silver and Black, formerly. Except for John Gruden trade him as like, pass rushers? Nah. Who needs them? So we got Khalil Mack. I'm trading as Eric Armstead. Solomon Thomas is going to slide over to play defensive tackle, so don't even worry your pretty little heads about that. We got extra depth. Why not get Khalil Mack? But now you're probably like, what about D Ford? Well, what about him? What about D Ford? He's an 83 overall at 30. Khalil Mack also happens to be 30, but guess what? He's a 99. Now, I'm no math expert, but that's a pretty big difference from 83 to 99. That's at least 10, probably even more. And it's definitely worth it. Khalil Mack's easy to trade for now because he's 30, and 30-year-olds are easy to trade for. So I'm like, well, why not trade D Ford? And I got Quentin Nelson, who will play on the offensive line, who was actually kind of hard to trade for. Mid-season mark, we are 6-1, a little bit better than the previous season. So now only missed the playoffs by 1 game instead of 2. When we check out the lineup, things are progressing nicely. We have a number of skill points here and there. I don't know why I said it like that. But defensively, I think is really where the team shines a bit. Khalil Mack is a game changer to our defense for sure. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade some of these players, and we do have to reassign some players as well. Quentin Nelson being one of them. Surprised he was so hard to trade for given his expiring contract. Mike McGlinchey. I didn't even mention that 2 former Notre Dame teammates drafted in the same draft are now back on the same offensive line. How fun is that? Pretty fun. Dante Pettis, Marquise Goodwin, Fred Warner here as well. I love Marquise Goodwin, right? I love Flash, but he is 30. Maybe we bring him back for a year. I don't know. Fred Warner here as well. So probably everyone to the left of DJ Reed Jr. and maybe Marquise Goodwin. We'll see. Okay, so you guys might find this funny as Fred Warner, Dante Pettis, Mike McGlinchey, and Quentin Nelson all re-sign. We don't really have any money. So I can't really even bring back Marquise Goodwin if I wanted to. So that's pretty fun. Okay, playoff time. We went 11-5. It's only a wild card appearance because I guess there were other teams that outperformed us with 11 wins. I suppose that's fair. However, Jimmy Garoppolo, great year. 7th offense in the NFL. We had the best defense in the NFL. That's what I'm trying to see every single year. Just show me the best, and we'll be fine. Jimmy G was good. Touchdowns are up. Rushing, whatever. Receiving, Dante Pettis led the team in catches and yards, although touchdowns, Marquise Goodwin and Kendrick Bourne were tied. Blocking, offensive line was fairly good, but then defensively, oh my goodness, I saw Khalil Mack's sack total. Tackles, Fred Warner at 105. Nick Bosa had 15 tackles for loss, which led the team, but Khalil Mack, 22.5 sacks from left end. Nick Bosa was decent at right end, 6.5. DeForest Buckner was 6, but Khalil Mack stole the show. Also had an interception, but Fred Warner and Richard Sherman had 2, which led the team. Any defensive touchdowns? I don't know even why I check. It doesn't matter. It's just a fun quirk. Yearly awards, I expect to see Khalil Mack in here somewhere. Matt Ryan wins MVP. No Jimmy G. NFC Offense Player of the Year is Matt Ryan. Jimmy Garoppolo at number 7. Defensive Player of the Year is Roquan Smith. Khalil Mack finishes at number 2. Offensive Rookie of the Year is Ace Houston. Sounds like he has a PI show in the 80s. That's fun. No 49ers in there, but Defensive Rookie of the Year, Joey McKee. We got Doug Mosley in there at number 3. No other 49ers, but we started Mosley, and it looks like he had a decent year at outside linebacker. We're up to 91 offense, 85 defense for a team overall of like 60 or something. I don't know how they calculate it. But, 91 offense, 85 defense for an 84 overall. Do we not have any specialists or at all? Like, no kicker, no punter? I mean, Robbie Gould's here. I don't know who this punter is. Mitch Wishnowski. All right. I don't think I've heard a more Chicago name in my entire life. And he went to school in Utah. If he's not from Chicago, I don't know what to tell you. Team is looking fairly nice, however. Morale is up big time, so things are going well. Things are good. Let's go ahead and see if we can't perform in the playoffs and beat the Saints in the wild card to advance to the divisional. And we can. 17-13 as we replay some classic late 80s, 90s football here in the playoffs. Cowboys, 49ers to advance to the conference championship. Let's see who the victor is. The Cowboys. They crushed us 31-10. Whenever I see Cowboys 49ers, I immediately think Deion Sanders. Just because he played for both teams, like back to back, if I'm not mistaken. But You can't win them all. Season 4, I expect big things. The team is definitely moving in the correct direction. I think Marquise Goodwin's going to regress, so I guess it's not good to bring him back. Anyways, the Cowboys beat the Titans 28-24 in the Super Bowl. He is down to a 78. Yeah, we don't really need to bring him back. But overall, let's go ahead and advance to free agency. We won't have any money, which is fun. How much money do we have? Oh, none? Yeah, I'm not even going to bother checking. I'll see you guys for the draft. I'll take the best player available. I think we're pretty much good at every position now. Like maybe center we could improve upon. 89 offense, 83 defense now. Our defense could move up a bit. Richard Sherman's going to be like an 82 probably. So maybe we take a corner. Maybe we take a receiver. Maybe we take a receiver. Receiver, center. I don't know that we need a corner. Safety, though, we could use. I didn't move Solomon Thomas to starting D-tackle. Oh, that was foolish of me. That's the entire reason I traded Eric Armstead. How did I forget to do this? Oh, because I'm an idiot. That's right. That's a good point. This is the last time I'm going to see you guys. But it's, we're in the draft. This wide receiver is bad, but I'm going to take him because he was the best available. We'll check out the draft recap just for funsies at this point. We didn't really do too much. And for the rest of the NFL, 78 overall, first pick out of Vandy. Interesting. He was the best player in the draft. And then the Bucs got the 2 best players in the draft. Good for the Bucs, man. Why not? I mean, it's a decent draft class. We've seen better. We've seen worse. Okay. This is going to be the team for the 4th and final season of the 49ers rebuild. We never really got a dominant wide receiver. Dante Pettis has progressed really nicely overall, I would say. But we never really got a dominant one. And that maybe has held the offense back a tad. Jimmy Garoppolo hasn't developed much. Our running backs haven't developed at all. And then defensively, I think is really where the team shines in terms of players progressing. Although DeForest Buckner didn't even move up that much in terms of overall. Nobody really progressed at all. Kind of weird. But sometimes that's the way she goes. We're going to go ahead, simulate to the midseason mark. I'm not going to re-sign anybody because it's a waste of time at this point. We're not doing another season. But I'll check in. Maybe we'll upgrade some players. And then I will see you guys for the playoffs. I hope we make them. We might not. That's not good. Stop the losing streak. I don't like the sound of that. 3-4. The Cardinals are 6-1 and the Seahawks are 0-8. 2022 is a weird year. Why am I talking like Trisha Takanawa? I don't know if you guys like Family Guy, but this is how she talks. I haven't seen Family Guy in a while, but yeah, man. It's not going to be a good season 4. I'm going to guarantee it. Like, Men's Warehouse, they guarantee you're going to like the way you look. I'm going to guarantee we don't make the playoffs. It's not going to be good. Who are you? Why are you playing? All right, playoff time. If we make it, we make it. If we don't, I cry. But the team's good enough, obviously. It's a very good team. I didn't mean to cancel the auto sim. We're 5-7. Things aren't looking good. That's where we are. But, we got an 85 overall team. It's one of the better overall teams in the NFL. I would love to see. I'd love to see it. In fact, we're going to. I need to see how we compare to the 7-5 Arizona Cardinals that, by the way, started out, 6-1? Sim is so weird after the midseason mark. Oh, they're 72 overall. Okay. Why would they not have more wins by a lot? Why not? And they're going to beat us this week, too. I'll simulate it 1 week at a time so you guys can see. They're going to beat us. Ooh, we won by 4. Wow. All right, playoff time. We didn't make it, obviously. That Week 17 loss to the Rams was for the division. If we beat them, we would have been 8-8. If they lost, they would have been 7-9. And that is the difference in a successful and a failing season. We finished at an 86 overall. 91 offense, 89 defense. But, of course, what are you going to do? I mean, it's so stupid. I don't know why I waste my time with these sometimes when I can build a great team and they just don't do anything. Nick Bosa all of a sudden is up to a 90. I feel like he was doing nothing the entire rebuild, and now all of a sudden he's at a 90. You know, what can you do? I'll show you guys the stats. I'll show you guys the awards in case you care. We had the 28th offense, because nothing about this team was consistent, and the first defense. That's going to do it for me, guys. I'm probably going to go, probably launch myself off the top of this building, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.